Hello everybody and welcome to the January 15th, 19th edition of the Ephrom Josine Show. I am your host, Ephrom Josine, and it seems like yesterday I made a little bit of a mistake. You see, yesterday I was talking about presidential candidates who had formed exploratory committees, and one of the people I mentioned was New York Senator Hillary Clinton replacement Kirsten Gillibrand. However, the person I name-dropped was Kamala Harris. This kinda confused me at first when I looked at Twitter and saw that Kirsten Gillibrand formed an exploratory committee today. Now, Kamala Harris is, of course, not the same person as Kirsten Gillibrand, and for that I do apologize. However, that still doesn't mean there isn't anything to criticize, most notably the fact that Kamala Harris allowed Steve Mnuchin to run rampant and illegally foreclose on homes of old people in California while her own Justice Department was encouraging her to clamp down on it. She still did nothing. Kirsten Gillibrand is the, New York Senator who's a replacement for Hillary Clinton. Not really much to say there. The most interesting thing about her is that she was a part of the Blue Dog Coalition, literally the right-wing Democrats. Remember how I went after Jay Isliel yesterday for being part of the New Democrats? Well, the Blue Dogs are basically the New Democrats' right wing in the DNC. You know, they're the, I'm a fiscal conservative, but social liberal type of people. They're basically just a bunch of libertarians. I think would be the best way of describing them. Which, if you're for a moderate libertarian-esque candidate, I guess you could support Kirsten Gillibrand. However, at that point, just join the Libertarian Party. Like, seriously, just join a Libertarian Party at that point. What else? Kirsten, of course, also has a 100% rating from the NRA, which she is going to have to run from like hell on her campaign. Considering how the NRA is currently ran by traitor Oliver North. And we kind of don't like that. So does Kirsten Gillibrand have a chance? In the primaries, yes, she could win and be the nomination. However, considering how Donald Trump just lost to Hillary Clinton 1.0, or just won against Hillary Clinton 1.0, I doubt he's going to lose against Hillary Clinton 2.0. It's a similar criticism I have with Harris. However, Harris is actively more in the economic neoliberal range. I wouldn't quite call her a social democrat, but she has signed on to things like Medicare for All in the past. She's a typical California Democrat, I'd say, would be the best way of putting her, but not quite a progressive. She also supported a preemptive strike against North Korea, which, no, that's an awful idea. Just objectively. But of course, I'm still going to defend Kirsten Gillibrand from bad attacks. So Charlie Kirk, what do you got? Facts! You ever notice how whenever he does that, he never has a citation? Kirsten Gillibrand was a partner of and continues to take hundreds of thousands of dollars from the law firm that represented sicko Harvey Weinstein. So, not from Harvey Weinstein himself, but from the law firm that represented him? That's a controversy now? I don't care. No one cares. That's why there's no outrage, because you're the only one on this planet. Who cares? Anyway, the hearing's over. Donald Trump's new Attorney General nominees start today. And if you do not know who it's been, well, quite frankly, I didn't know for a minute. Yeah, I'm a little late to the party on this one. It just sort of got covered up at the tail end of 2018. But it's former Attorney General under George H.W. Bush, William Barr. Never heard of him? Well, that would actually be kind of surprising considering he was Attorney General under George H.W. Bush and met with Reagan in '83 and There's a picture of him with Dan Quayle and Bush signing the Civil Rights Commission Reauthorization Act in 1991. But basically what I'm saying is this guy was everywhere in the 90s, serving George H.W. Bush. But Donald Trump is anti-establishment. Now, unlike Jeff Sessions, his positions on every issue aren't the worst kind of awful. I'd like to make that clear. However, he still said some very weird things. For instance, he did this weird flip-flop on abortion. I'm just going to read you it. In 1991, Barr stated that he believed the framers of the Constitution did not originally intend to create a right to abortion. Well, you should have read the Ninth Amendment then. That Roe v. Wade was thus wrongfully decided, and that abortion should be, quote, legitimate issue for state legislators. Yeah, that wouldn't work. Mostly because then you'd look at it, and there'd be tons of states that you'd go after. We know that. You know, because all the blue states, they would allow it up until birth in some cases. There are even some that go far beyond what most people think is acceptable. You think that William Barr is going to sit by and go, it's a state issue, I can't do anything. No, that's never going to happen. In 1995, scholarly article for The Catholic Lawyer, unbiased source, Barr stated that the American government is, quote, predicated precisely on Judeo-Christian systems. That's just wrong. Thomas Paine wrote Common Sense and was an atheist. That's just a fact. For that matter, many of our founding fathers were deists, not Christians. And there were a few who were, don't get me wrong, you can look at individuals who were. However, Benjamin Franklin directly said that lighthouses are more useful than churches. You know, if they were all Christians, some of them did a really good job at hiding it. That's all I'll say. Lastly, Donald Trump is talking about pulling out of NATO, again, because he's an idiot. There's really no better way. We've broken down why this idea is bad a million times, and he just won't listen. You know, despite the fact NATO's been a great force for peace. And on a side note, he can pull people out of NATO. Still bombing, we're still at like 5 countries. And that's assuming, by the way, he got out of the 2 he promised. He still officially hasn't. But anyway, that's it. I'm Ephrom, and good night.